I have a basket full of my favorite makeup right here, and today we're going to talk about my top 3 favorites in each category from the drugstore. One of the best things about doing YouTube is the amazing people you get to meet. No, not in real life necessarily, but between subscribers and other creators, I have met some amazing people, and one of them is my good friend Des. Des has a channel, Beauty by Des. She is based in the UK, and we've gotten to know each other through YouTube, and I just really like her. She is also in this mature beauty space, and I love listening to her because I just love her accent, and she just has really amazing content. I will have her channel linked down below, and I'll also have a link to her video so that you can see what her top 3 favorites are in each category. And I'm excited to see if we mention any of the same things. If you're here from Des's channel, hi, my name is Tina, and I'm really glad that you decided to come by and see what we do here. I hope that you'll take some time and take a look around, watch a couple of other videos, and if you like what you see, that you'll subscribe and become part of the family and travel this journey along with the rest of us. It can be crazy and fun and exasperating and frustrating and beautiful and amazing. So let's explore it together. Let's start from the base up. My top 3 primers in no particular order. These are not ranked number 1 and that kind of thing. I have used some of these products to do the look that I have on my face right now. A lot of my favorite primers come from e.l.f., but I didn't let myself pick 3 from the same brand. So my first primer is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. e.l.f. has had several kind of versions of this. They had the Mint Melt Primer and the Watermelon Primer. They're all kind of similar. And then this one is the one they settled on that's permanent. Now they do have a new one that has niacinamide in it. I have a small sample of that too, but I haven't used it enough to know if I like it better than this one. But as you can see, this one's almost gone and I really like it. It does feel kind of hydrating, it is gripping, and it does help your makeup to stay on longer, which is one of the main reasons I use a primer in the first place. Then I also like to get some pore blurring and smoothing going on, so if I use that e.l.f. Power Grip, I also use this LA Girl Pro Prep HD primer, and again, you can see that I've used a lot of this. This is great. I put it on and then I just kind of press it into the T-zone, and it just does a great job of blurring on my cheeks and on my nose where I tend to have some bigger pores, and also on my chin. And then this one is interesting because this was one of my most hated primers when I first bought it because it was so thick and crumbly that I couldn't get it from my fingers to my face without it falling all over. Well, my good friend Andy from Andy Does Stuff, this was her favorite primer, and I like other things that she likes even though she has drier skin than I do, and so I thought, you know what, I bet I just got a bad tube. And so it's inexpensive enough that I decided I would give it one more go, and I bought a new tube of it, and I do really like it. It does start out kind of thick, but when you rub it into your hands, it kind of melts into more of a gel texture, and then when you put it on, it doesn't have silicone in it, but it gives you that blurred kind of silicone look. I don't know how they do it, but I do really like it. So those are my top 3 primers. Moving on, my top 3 foundations. Now, I could have cheated and done top 3 light coverage and top 3 more full coverage, but I didn't. I made myself pick just 3 foundations. The first one in this category is from e.l.f., and this is the Flawless Satin Foundation. My color in this is 210 Bisque, and this was a last-ditch effort to try to find an e.l.f. foundation that I liked because I don't like the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream, and I didn't like the e.l.f. Camo Powder Foundation. Neither of those really worked for my skin. They didn't last on my skin. But this I really like. This color is just slightly deep for me, so I kind of save it for summertime, and I would like to get one that's a little bit lighter that I can wear now, but really like this one. My number 1 light coverage foundation is the Misha BB Cream. 23 is my perfect color, and I just love this. It lasts such a long time. Gives a beautiful satin finish and just really looks pretty on my skin. And then this one is a late entrant. I had my number 7 Lift and Luminate Serum Foundation as my 3rd one, but it's getting a little hard to find, and I wasn't sure if I should include it or not, but it really is or was one of my top 3 foundations. But I wore the Moira Complete Wear Foundation. I hadn't really worn it in a while since I got this in the after Christmas sales, and I wore this last week, and when I went to the mirror to wash my face after wearing this for about 9.5 hours, I was shocked by how good it looked. And I even told my husband, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at my foundation. And he was surprised at how good it looked too. I really like it. I like the finish, and it's got really good coverage. You can build it up to probably full, and just, like I said, lasts a really long time. So this was a surprising late entrant, but it's definitely worthy of being there. I'm going next to eye primers because I have started liking to put my eye primers on before I put my concealer on. And the reason I do that is because I almost always get a little eye primer down where the concealer goes, or if I put the concealer on, and I'd rather have the concealer over the eye primer than the other way around, just personal preference. So one of my favorites is the Ulta Beauty Matte Eye Primer. The color is Nude, and this does a really good job of giving coverage to cover up my discolored eyelids with redness and veining and that kind of stuff. And it also keeps my eye makeup in place all day long. I have oily eyelids, and so sometimes it can be difficult to keep my eye makeup on. It'll get creasy or it'll just fade away, and this does a great job of keeping it in place. I also really like this eyeshadow base I got off of Amazon. This one is Beck Issue, but there's a lot of them in this same packaging that have a different name on them, and I kind of have a feeling they're the same thing inside. This color is 1 Medium, and I like this one, but it's a little bit deeper. It also does a great job of covering discoloration, and I have a couple of eye primers that I don't like because they don't provide that coverage. They'll do an okay job of making my eyeshadow last longer, but I really want to start with a clean base. And so this one is a little bit yellower. So if I'm doing a warmer eye look, I kind of like to use this one. And then again, I have a new late edition, and I'm not sure if, having only used it a few times, if it can qualify for favorite status, but it really did jump right to the top. And that is this Avril eyeshadow primer, and the color on this one is Ivory. And I like this because it's really light, but it's not white. That's been my problem so far with my eyeshadow primers that I've been trying, is they're all a little deep. And sometimes I want something really brightening, and those just weren't doing it. This I got from Temu in my Temu haul, which will be coming to you soon if it's not already up. If I've already put it up, I will link it here in the cards. I had so much fun filming that video. So if it's not up, make sure you're subscribed with your notifications on so you won't miss it. All right, so that's eyeshadow primers. For concealers, I really like the e.l.f. Camo Hydrating Concealer. The regular camo one is way too drying for my under eyes as a mature woman, but this hydrating one is really nice. It provides excellent coverage. Once I get it on and pat it out and set it, it doesn't crease. My shade in this, by the way, is Fair Beige. This is not the one I used today. I also like the Essence Camouflage Concealer. Talk about affordable. Essence is just amazingly affordable. This one is waterproof, and my color is 20 Light Ivory. Again, just really gives a nice coverage. It's very brightening, and once it's set, it doesn't go anywhere and it doesn't crease. Both of these I do set with powder. This one, however, from Moira, the Mega Concealer in 125, I really think I need 120 to be the perfect color for me, but I can make this one work, especially with some of my darker foundations. And this is self-setting, and I do not have to set it or touch it once it's dried down on my face. I did do a full face of Moira, and I'll link that up there so you can see the Moira products being used. With powders, again, I could have done 3 that I like for under eye and 3 that I like for the rest of my face, but I just kept it to 3. And so the one that I like best for my under eye is the number 7 Lift and Luminate Triple Action Finishing Powder. This is such a beautiful powder. This is my second one. I went through one last year in my PUD project, and this just has such a silky texture. And I did not set my eyes today because I don't need to with the Moira concealer, but when I do, this is really pretty. It brightens, and it just really doesn't accentuate that crepey under eye skin the way some powders can that are really drying. My very favorite powder foundation and also setting powder is this Essence 16-Hour Cover and Last Foundation, and it is in O2 Champagne. I bought this in August of last year and completely used it up by January. So I do have another one of these in my cart. I just haven't purchased it yet, but I love it for powder foundation. I love it for a setting powder, and it's great especially for a touch-up powder. If you have a foundation that maybe doesn't get you through a full 8 or 9 hour day, or you need a 14 or 15 hour day, this one can come in at 9 hours, and if you're oily and you blot and you put this on, you're good to go. And so I use this a lot, as you can tell. I have a lot of powders, and to use one up completely in 6 months, that says that it's really good. I have a video on this one too, by the way. Then for a loose setting powder that I really love, I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus translucent powder, and I used this one on my face today. It is just a super finely milled powder, and when you put it on, it just blurs everything out, but it doesn't set down and just make you look so matte that everything's flat. As you can see, I still have a pretty kind of healthy sheen on my face, but it's not disco ball glowy. For cheek products, I have 3 bronzers that I love. The first is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in Sunset Strip Tease. This color is kind of just a perfect bronzy color for me. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, but I can use this both for contour and bronzer. It's just that perfect neutral tone for me. It has enough pigment that you don't have to just keep working and working and working, but not so much that when you put your brush down, you're like, oh no, what did I do? I also love the Flower Beauty Heatwave Bronzer in Sunrise. This one has a little bit of a pinky tone to it. It's this pretty marbled shade there, and when you apply it, there's an undertone of pink to it, which is the color I turn when I'm in the sun. I don't really tan very well. I kind of burn, and then it turns just a little bit of a pinky brown color. And so this is really flattering on fair skin as well. And it says it's luminous, but it's not glowy. Again, it's just that nice kind of satiny sheen. And then I have one cream bronzer that I've included in here. There are some cream bronzers that I want to try. I also love the e.l.f. cream bronzers, but I kept it to 3. This little stick from Focallure, it came as a duo with a highlight, and this color is Tortilla. And it is just perfectly neutral, cool for a contour stick. If I really want to contour and chisel out those cheekbones or hide this jawbone, that's the perfect color to do it with. All right, moving on to blushes. Des, you might think I'm cheating, but in this one, I did let myself do 3 cream and 3 powder blushes because it was just too hard to pick only 3. So in the powder blush category, I have the Essence, the blush in Befitting. I have several colors of these, and they're all so pretty. But this is a beautiful mauve tone, and it's just a perfect cool tone, goes with just about everything kind of blush. You can wear it in the winter, fall, summer, spring, doesn't matter, and it's so flattering. Then these two are actually very similar, but they're from different brands. This is the Moira Signature Ombre Blush in Mellow Pink. And if you want it a little lighter, you can stay up here. If you want a darker tone, you can come down here. Generally what I do is I just swirl them together. And this one is beautifully warm, but not overly orange. It's just such a pretty peachy tone. And then the one I'm wearing today is from Kokie, and it's very similar. You can see the ombre. This is the Soft Gradient Blush in Heartthrob. And again, you've got a deeper tone, a lighter tone. Can we just take time to appreciate the beauty of my manicure? I haven't had time to do anything with it. I'm in a play and we're heading into dress rehearsal week, so I really need to just take this off. I just haven't had time yet. So anyway, again, I swirl it together, and then look at this pink. Isn't that pretty? It looks a little bubblegummy when you have that much pigment, but I don't put that much pigment on my cheeks, and it blends out just beautifully to give you a soft flush of color that is very flattering. The play that I'm in is Radium Girls. I have 3 parts, and all of the characters have to look very distinct from each other. So hair and makeup are big in this play, and one of the parts is a man. So I actually have facial hair and a wig. I'll share pictures of all my characters after I get their looks kind of perfected. Tonight's our first dress rehearsal, so it might not happen tonight, but by showtime it will.
Ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's entertainment, I will be playing all the parts. Thank you.
Then for my cream blushes, I found this one at Dollar General. This is an LA Colors Blush Up. I have 2 of these, but this is my favorite color in these, and this color is marvelous. It reminds me a little bit of the Essence blush that I had first. It's a mauve that's really pretty, and you don't need much of this, but when you blend it out, it is just so pretty. That's kind of a lot. I don't wear that much. It does not lift the foundation underneath. It dries down completely, doesn't stay tacky, and it lasts all day long. Then I have the Wet n Wild Peach Bums that I have watched Jen Phelps for a long time, and she recommends this as a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Peachgasm. And so I bought this, and this is so pretty. It's a peachy tone with a little bit of a shimmer, and wear this and you don't need a highlighter. And then I just had to try the Moira Love Heat cream blushes. This is in I Miss You, and it's that super pink that's so popular right now. The Dior blush kind of made this color what it is. I like to use a stippling brush usually with this one, and look at that color. Look at that pigment. It is just so pretty. When it blends out, I'll blend it out a little bit down here. I believe I used this when I did my Cold Girl look. And if I didn't, I should have. Maybe I didn't have it yet. But anyway, it is just beautiful and gives such a natural flush on my cheeks. So those are my favorite blushes. And yes, they were 6, but it wasn't really cheating because they're different categories, right? Moving into highlighters, I have had and loved this one for so long, and so have so many others. The Essence Pure Nude Be My Highlight. And it is just a supernatural glow. It doesn't accentuate texture. Not that I really mind, because I'll use a highlighter that I like even if it does accentuate my texture, but this one doesn't. So if that's something that you want to avoid, this is a good one to do that. If you want to beam, then the ColourPop Super Shock in Flexitarian should be your choice, because this is just stunning. I mean, look at that. And you can see the difference between those two right there. However, it's not glittery. It is a highlight and it is beaming, but it doesn't leave flecks of glitter on your face. And when you blend it in, it does kind of become one with your skin. And then this is the companion to that contour stick I showed you. This is the highlighter in Groovy, and this one is kind of a pink tone. It also just kind of gives you that lit from within glow. There's no glitter, it's just a really pretty glow. Once you blend that in, it looks beautiful on the cheeks. I did not put highlighter on today because, like I said, I have dress rehearsal tonight, and one of my characters is a man, and so highlighter is not really going to work for that. All right, we are to eyeshadows, and it was tough to pick 3 favorite eyeshadows. And so what I did was my 3 favorite eyeshadows right now, what I'm reaching for the most right now, because that changes as the season changes. My 3 favorites right now might not be my 3 favorites in the middle of summer, but these are my 3 favorites right now. These are the ones that I find myself reaching for when I'm not filming on a day-to-day basis. And the first one of these is the Alter Ego Sahara palette, and this one is a neutral palette, but it is warm neutrals, and there's kind of a theme with what I'm reaching for right now. I'm doing a lot of neutral looks. And so this is just really pretty, and I can get a lot of variety out of this one. If you want to get cool, you can do that. You want it warmer, you can do that. You can go all matte, you can add shimmers, and sometimes when you have a neutral palette, all of your looks kind of start looking the same, but this one I can do a lot of different looks with. Then, when I want some color, I find myself often reaching for the BH Cosmetics Avocado Toast palette, because I just love green. I love a brighter green, I love grungy green, and you can do all of that with this, or you can also do some gold looks that are really beautiful with this too. So that's my second one. And then the one I have on my eyes today is the Moira Cosmetics Chasing Eternity palette from the Celestial series. I put this color here on my eyelids to set my primer from the crease to the brow bone. Then I used this as a transition. I put this out in the outer corner to start building that and bringing it across to deepen the crease. And then I used this one in the very outer corner and under the eye. I did an all matte look. The play is set in the 1920s, and my characters are ones that would not have gone full flapper with their makeup. And also because I am playing a man, I needed a more understated look for my makeup. All right, coming into the home stretch with eyes, I have the Moira 1.5mm Precision Brow Pencil, and the color is Taupe. This is probably right now my perfect color, and I just love the micro brow pencils, and it must have a spoolie. So I have a lot of precision brow pencils that I like. I don't like the e.l.f. very much, the precision one. I do like the e.l.f., the $3 one. But the precision one is just too scratchy. So anyway, but this is the one I'm using right now. And then the other two brow products I pulled in are the Essence Make Me Brow in 03 Soft Brownie Brows and the e.l.f. Wow Brow Tinted Brow Gel also in Taupe. I alternate these two. These are very similar. When this one's gone, I'll open this one. I got this one on sale recently in the e.l.f. 60% off for members sale, so this is going to replace it. So those are my three brow products. Eyeliners. I do not really ever use a liquid liner above my lashes anymore. If I'm doing a very dramatic look, I might pull that in, but I pretty much tightline upper and lower waterlines, and that's about it. My very favorite #1 eyeliner pencil is this Wet n Wild Kohl eyeliner. It's a sharpening pencil. It's about this long when you first get it, lasts forever, and it's 98 cents. This one is in Simma Brown now. It goes on so easily and stays there. It doesn't transfer to the lower waterline. I don't know how Wet n Wild does it for 98 cents, but please keep doing it. If I want black in the upper waterline, I'm going to reach for the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof eyeliner in black. This one is a retractable, so it's not sharpenable, but has the same characteristics. Transfers easily to the waterline, doesn't transfer to the lower waterline, and stays in place. And then my favorite lower waterline liner, I usually like to do a brightening color in there, and the Maybelline Light Liner in Starlight Gold. This is my second or maybe even the third one of these that I have purchased, and this is my favorite lower waterline liner. Mascaras. I have an old favorite and two new favorites in here, and the old favorite I purchased over and over again is the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect. I know some people love it, some people don't. It doesn't smudge on me, it doesn't flake, lasts all day, gives me great looking lashes, and I have repurchased it over and over again. But a couple of new favorites. The e.l.f. Lash and Roll. When I got this, I used it straight, nothing else, for 2 weeks, and still love it. It does beautiful lashes, gives me separation, length, volume, and I don't have to curl my lashes before I use it. When I want extreme lashes, I use the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift Mascara. At first, I wasn't real sure about this one. It took a little bit to figure out exactly how to use it perfectly for me. Everybody kind of has their own technique for it. I like to kind of scrape off some of the excess product on the brush and not use the flat side to apply the product until after I've used the brushes to kind of get a little bit on there and separate them. The other thing I figured out is if I do one eye and then the other eye and come back for a second coat, it doesn't work as well as if I do each eye by itself. First coat, lower lashes, dip back in, second coat, and then move to the second eye. And these three never go in my mascara drawer. They stay in a basket on my desk because unless I'm filming specifically about a different mascara, these are the three I'm using. And then the last category is lips. I did not do 3 lip liners, 3 lipsticks, and 3 lip glosses. I just did my favorite lip combination right now, and that is the Essence Soft and Precise Lip Pencil in Charming. This is just such a pretty pink mauve shade. It goes with a lot of my lip colors because I really love lipsticks in this shade. Some are lighter, some are darker, but it works for a lot of them. One of my favorite lipsticks right now is the new e.l.f. This one is in Effortless, and it just is kind of my lips but better, maybe just a little bit deeper. And when I'm doing a cool toned or neutral look, this is pretty much my go-to. And I was a little bit salty about it costing $9, but I really do kind of think it's worth it. And my favorite gloss is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. This one is pretty much gone. I need to take the stopper out because I cannot reach down to get any more out. I was just kind of scraping the sides to get what I had on today. I love this one. I love the way it smells. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels on my lips. And I will definitely repurchase this pretty soon. I also have Stone, and those two colors, this one by the way is Moon. Those two colors go with any lip look that I want to do. This one covers the pinks and Stone covers the more brownie neutral ones. So I may get another color in there, but really I haven't needed any other color besides these two. And so that's it. Those are my top 3 drugstore products in every category of makeup. Did I hit any of yours? Or did I miss something that you think is absolutely fantastic and can't believe I didn't mention it? If so, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to go check out Des. If you've never watched her, you're going to love her. She talks about fashion and makeup, and she does some travel vlogs, some daily vlogging, and she also talks about diet and fitness in this stage in life. She also has a newsletter, and she's written a book about diet in this phase of life. So to find out more about Des, click on the link to her video or her channel down below. If you haven't finished your coffee and you want to hang around for another video, I'll put one up right there. If you need to get on with things, then I will see you in my next one. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye-bye.